The littered road leads us to the home of Kenya's yet-to-be-discovered talented young man. 25-year-old Samuel Karumbo, a graduate of Kitale Technical Training Institute, has been inventing new technologies for the better part of his youth life.
I have 4 ways of how I come up with the projects. Stage number 1 is that I'm a very good observer. So with the observation, I just observe something.
In his working area, most innovations are controlled by a mobile phone. The rest are recyclable material.
So this is the drinking machine.
He says he started working on it after seeing a disabled person in the streets.
I started imagining, how does such a person eat food, drink, brush teeth? So at the end of the day, I had the picture. And at the end of the day, I had the machine.
As he demonstrates, one cannot help but notice his intense passion and zeal. He makes his improvements on it every now and then in a bid to get to perfection. Most of his projects are run by electricity. Samuel shows us the feeding machine fixed with a spoon and space for a plate. After switching it on, the only movement needed is to aim for the spoon.
So with the time we're going to come up with another machine that maybe we can use to eat ugali or such food like chips. We have other foods.
He tells us he has had to endure a lot of cynicism and criticism from his friends and family, but has used all that to build on his innovations. He dug a hole to create space in the ground in a bid to work in privacy. After meals, cleaning of teeth is key. This project he came up with can brush your teeth for you without the use of your hands. He tells us a stronger machine is needed, his main challenge being the right kind of equipment. His bedroom turned into a laboratory with over 20 projects. An incomplete dishwashing machine, an electric rat trap.
You observe a rat running from here to here. The next minute I'm thinking of how I can catch that rat.
An improvised ironing equipment that uses a small coil for heating water. Takes roughly 2 minutes to heat, then ironing starts. One may make breakfast while ironing, as an egg can be boiling as the water heats.
I'm trying to come up with a project that I'm going to modify and come up with, produce my own energy that I can use for the projects.
One of his most creative innovations is the robot that can take instructions via the mobile phone. For example, irrigation, according to Samuel, can be done from inside the house or even when one is away on safari. All one needs to do is to make a phone call. The robot then opens the tap and water is directed to the shamba. Outside, he has developed the system such that it can shut itself down when the irrigation is done. As if this is not enough for one young man in a lifetime, he is also working on an electric plane. Samuel Karumbo is not currently employed, but he hopes to get a chance and resources to expand his ideas. So Samuel tells me this is his latest creation, a metal detector. So Samuel, how does it work?
It works this way. When you pass the objects around the pocket and you don't have any metallic object, it is not going to detect anything. But the moment I put a metallic object inside the pocket, it is going to detect that you have something, a metallic object inside.
An American poet once said, if we all think alike, then no one is thinking. Mercy Kandiye reporting for KTN in Langas, Uasin Gishu County. Interesting.
Meet the 25-year-old working on 25 projects.
I'm Samuel Karumbo Nganga. I'm an electrician. I get little money on working on maintenance work. So I raised some money to buy materials I need, such as wires, motors, timers, phone, so to do my innovations.
After setting his Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education in Kapsara Secondary School in 2005, Ng'ang'a joined Kitale Technical Training Institute, where he graduated with a certificate in electrical installation. And from the knowledge gained, he pursued his dream using locally available materials like mobile phones.
If we are dealing with a robot, of course, we are going to have motors. In this case, I'm using DC motors, which are very expensive. So acquiring one motor can go to up to 3,000.
Welcome to Ng'ang'a's powerhouse, where any problem can be solved.
I have some projects that can keep security when somebody is not around, because it happens that my door is connected to the phone. So when you come and open the door, the phone is going to call me wherever I will be. I can communicate with the person inside the house. I can maybe ask him what she want or what he wants. The other thing is that I am able to open the dog's house using my phone, and also to communicate with the dog and maybe call the dog to attack the intruder inside the house.
And for the physically challenged, he even has feeding and drinking machines.
Inarudi on. Then after some minutes inakupatia time tena inarudi, you drink. Some of the projects can help disabled people, like the feeding machine, we have the drinking machine, we have the brushing machine. You can do irrigation when you are not around. Using your phone, you can send a signal to the other phone at home, which will send a signal to the robot. Then the robot will start to pull the tap, and water is going to come up out. The water from the tap is then directed to the shamba. Then we have another pipe that contains some nozzles. The nozzles are going to sprinkle water on the flowers or on the plants.
This is how Ng'ang'a comes up with his projects.
Number one is that I'm a very good observer, so I will just observe something. Then secondly, I will imagine what I have just observed. The third stage is that I'm going to receive pictures at the back of my mind. And the last stage, the fourth stage, is that I'm going to transform what I'm seeing at the back of my mind on papers. I am going to draw sketches. Then lastly, I will have the project.
Ng'ang'a has to share his tiny room with robots, like his favorite, Anonymous.
The room is becoming smaller every day.
He hopes that one day, Anonymous will be able to drive a car.
I'm working on the robot that can be able to ride a car. There. And then this one, you can use that one hand to control the steering, while we have the other one can be used maybe to set the gears. So at the moment I cannot sell the project because some of the projects are not registered, and this is because of lack of funds to register them. You need 16,000 for every project, so you can imagine I have 25 projects.
And as he focuses his energy on making Anonymous drive, he's motivated by one thing: his love for innovation.
The best thing you can ever do is to discover your talent.
Judy Kosgei, Citizen TV, your story.
"51-year-old Anne Karanja lives in Langas, Uasin Gishu County. For 13 years, she has battled diabetes, a condition that causes the sugar levels to rise, damaging the body. Use of insulin is a must for diabetes patients like Anne. But insulin is delicate and has to be stored under the right temperatures, preferably in a refrigerator.
Insulin should be stored at room temperature. However, because the temperature may vary from place to place depending on where you are, so we always advise that it be stored in a fridge, not in the freezer, because insulin should not be frozen. And then if there is no fridge, then away from direct sunlight, preferably in a dark place.
Not able to afford a refrigerator, Anne has to make do with his cooling box, which she says helps keep her drugs safe.
Nilikuwa nikitumia simiti, naweka kasafuria, naweka dawa yangu ndani na maji. Sasa zingine mchana kuna wakajua, hiyo nini inakuwa insulin inakuwa expired. Ama kutumia makaa, zingine nashindo na nasahau na kuongeza makaa maji kama nimeweka kwa mtungi. Sasa inakuwa dry hata inisaidi.
Among other things, the simple gadget has a small air fan that regulates the temperature in this box. 25-year-old Samuel Karambu invented the cooling box, having been inspired by the tribulations of diabetes patients in his poor neighborhood.
It is portable because you can carry it around. Then it is cheap.
For Anne, the homemade refrigerator has taken away one of her worries, that of ensuring the safety of her drugs. Her other challenge, however, remains ensuring that she eats healthy and also exercises regularly. That is apart from checking her sugar levels from time to time as is required. Diabetes affects both the poor and the rich, but it is especially considered a greater burden to those with little or nothing in terms of resources. It is an expensive condition, and for the poor, a little invention like the cooling box makes all the difference. Irene Choge, NTV, for the Health Assignment.
There comes into the life of every man a task for which he and he alone is uniquely suited.
Here, it is indicated here.
And what a shame if that moment finds him either unwilling or unprepared for that which will become his finest hour.
We have security here. Security, we have television.
And finest hour, it is for one Samuel Karumbo.
Okay, I'm just going to...
His mobile might be carrying the basic features that fall within the territory of cheap phones. But his ingenuity and workmanship has taken it a notch higher, adding some bells and whistles here and there.
And start button, press yenyewe.
When Samuel Karumbo knows that he will be late for home, he never worries himself sick of having his lunch or dinner prepared late. His dinner is simply a call away, at a press of a button. And action stations. The stove will start cooking in the house while he's attending his business management studies.
The robotic machine will start the timer. Then the timer will start the coil or the cooker. And in time, the cooker will start cooking or giving heat to what I am cooking. This was another project.
And it does not stop there. Samuel can rest easy about his home security. He has put in place adequate measures to ensure no intruder can break into his house. A simple cell phone placed in the room is programmed to call his mobile phone, and he can communicate with the intruder through a microphone placed inside the door.
When you are away, you are able to know who is coming inside, who is going outside, who is going inside your house. So not only knowing that you are inside...
Even this rat was a bit stunned perhaps with Samuel's ingenuity. The beady-eyed little rodent was caught up in the electric mousetrap, which electrocutes any trapped pesky paste. The trap is made of wood with an opening covered with a mesh wire and small pieces of metals connected to electricity and placed on the surface of a plate. Once the rat enters inside, the door is pulled back through a magnetic field placed on the entrance.
I want to improve on the robotic machine. I want the robotic machine to work, to operate everything now in the house, not only cooking and starting the security light. I want to modify it so that it can work and perform everything electrically in the house.
The 24-year-old plans to commercialize his cooking system and the security gadget. Dibala NTV.